Franklin, I'm Cody Cruciel. Dave breaks with the problem. It's Tuesday night under the lights at Sherrod Field in Princeton, New Jersey, and for the first time in 91 years, it's the Princeton Tigers taking on the Colgate Raiders. The Tigers are 1-0, the Raiders looking for their first win of the season tonight on the Ivy League on ESPN. Hi, everyone. Alongside Dave Franklin, I'm Cody Cruciel. Dave, this is the first meeting between these two teams since 1929, and speaking of the 20s, the Tigers hung 20 on Monmouth in their opener Saturday, a convincing 20-9 victory.
Yeah, that's the exact start that you want to get off to if you're the Princeton Tigers. They're looking to get back into the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2012. So tonight, they're going to want to put up the same level of dominating numbers against a much better Patriot League program.
And for Colgate on offense, this is a team that is 0-2, but those two losses on the road against top 10 opponents UNC and Syracuse. They've got a talented senior leading this attack in Griffin Brown.
No question. Coach Harwick is going to want to get the ball to Brown early and often, especially in transition. He has been a dominating offensive threat for the Raiders for the last 3 years now, and he is going to cause a lot of matchup problems for the Princeton defense tonight.
For the Princeton offense, it revolves around Michael Sowers. Saturday against Monmouth, his second career 11-point game, and they've been spreading him around.
No question about it. Everyone's been talking about the new number 22 up at Syracuse, but the best 22 in the country is right here in Princeton, New Jersey. Sowers can attack you from multiple angles. Coach Madelon has been moving him around in the offensive set, and I think he's going to be very effective on the wing tonight.
Matt Carwick in his second season as Colgate's head coach after 6 seasons as an assistant under Kevin Corrigan in Notre Dame, trying to turn this program around. 4-11 so far over his first 1+ seasons. And in the middle of that Princeton huddle, Matt Madelon, his 4th full season as the Tigers head coach, 8 games above 500 after taking over with 5 games remaining in 2016. Tigers at home for the second time this season. Colgate on the road for the 3rd straight game. They play 10 road games out of their 14-game slate. In goal tonight for the 3rd time in as many contests this season, Sean Collins, the sophomore out of Darien High School, Darien, Connecticut. He's given up 40 goals over the first 2 games, but it's against 2 top 10 opponents, UNC and Syracuse. He's played better than those numbers would indicate. And for the Princeton Tigers, they're going to run out Eric Peters in net. Peters, who took over as the starter last year, started the final 9 games, replacing that man, John Levine. Teams meeting at midfield. Peters wearing number 9 on the right. Had a good day Saturday against Monmouth, allowed 8 goals, made 6 saves, and you can see those career numbers. This will be his 11th start tonight. Dave, this is an interesting one. You have a Tigers team, senior season for Michael Sowers, looking to make some noise, heading into that stretch where they play 4 of their next 5 against ranked opponents. You have a Colgate squad that's young, they're hungry, and they're trying to make some noise tonight as well.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. Princeton is at a point where they need to put up big numbers against a really solid program to really validify what they're able to do against Monmouth and take them into the postseason. Colgate, they're going through a culture change right now. I believe the word that Coach Carwick used yesterday was exposure therapy.
You don't get better by playing teams worse than you, and Colgate putting together the toughest schedule they possibly could at UNC, at Syracuse, and now on the road against Princeton. Jack Henry Vara, number 47 for the Tigers. Malcolm Feeney, the senior, number 35 for Colgate. Ball bouncing around between the stripes, and it's Feeney winning it cleanly for the Raiders. He has it knifed away by Stevens, and the Tigers immediately get it back. Clearing was an issue for the Raiders the first 2 games. Turnovers have been an issue.
Yeah, we talked about this again yesterday. Colgate is really trying to do things to tighten up special teams. When it comes to face-off, neither team is really dominant in that particular area. And that first face-off is exactly what we expected to see. A scrap, a lot of wing play, aggressive on the ground balls. No team has an advantage there, but you're right. Colgate wants to do a lot of things better on special teams.
Here's Vardaro. He was one of 5 Tigers with multiple goals Saturday. Gives it up to Chris Brown. Brown riding the second longest consecutive goal-scoring streak in the country. Early shot by McCarthy and a low save as that's turned aside by Collins. Foot race forward, and this is awarded to the Raiders.
Let's see if Colgate could get something going in transition here. Really good save by Collins to get started. That's really the first piece of rubber that you want to see as a goalie. People have been saying it all across the country. He is the best goalie in the nation with the worst goals against average.
And then a whistle against the Raiders, so the Tigers started back up with Sowers. Just over a minute gone by in this one, no score. Colgate, their first game did not go well. That was on the road at UNC, a 19-6 loss. They spotted the Tar Heels a 9-goal lead. They were down 16-1 at one point. Still suffered a lopsided loss at Syracuse in the Dome 11 days ago, but they did play better in that one. Sowers has that one knocked away, and the Tigers turn it over. Here comes Colgate in transition, looking to run. Marshall Terrace, two-way midfielder, fires wide, but it's backed up by Cadigan.
Coach Carwick has to be happy with that. He wants his defense to get out and be scrappy. They get a nice turnover on Sowers. They get into his head. They push transition. They get a nice shot. Doesn't hit the cage, but now they could possess. This is a good start for Coach Carwin and the Raiders.
10 of the Raiders' 14 scheduled games this year taking place on the road. They also did their training trip. They played an exhibition game, a scrimmage down in Jacksonville. So used to spending time away from their home in Hamilton, New York. There's a diving shot and an early goal for the Raiders. Ryan Decker, the midfielder, missed the Syracuse game with an injury, but the Raiders are on top 1-0 here early on.
Really impressive play by Decker, really more of a defensive midfielder, gets on the inside, able to release the shot as he's going down. Again, operating from the wing, gets a short stick, inside dodge, nice finish in between the 5-hole of Eric Peters.
Local product from Chatham, New Jersey, the sophomore with his second of the season. Got the start against the Tar Heels on the Raiders opener and then missed that Syracuse game 11 days ago with an injury. Colgate did not play this past weekend.
Ryan Decker is a player that I think is going to evolve more into a two-way midfielder. As a freshman, really saw a lot of action on the defensive end, but as you saw in that last offensive set, Coach Carwick trusted him. He was able to get a good spot to dodge from the wing, and he puts the Raiders on the board with a 1-goal lead.
Raiders got the first face-off. This time it's Feeney. He had it temporarily, but that's taken away by Luca Lazzaretto. Quickly into Michael Sowers, and the Tigers will go on the attack for the second time tonight. Top midfield line out there, Connor McCarthy flanked by Alexander Verdaro and Alex Slusher, the talented freshman, one of the top 50 recruits according to Inside Lacrosse. Came in as an attackman, but with that unit pretty much settled. Same lineup, really, the same three starters on attack for the third straight season. Slusher getting the start in the midfield.
And you'll see that a lot, Cody, a highly ranked offensive recruit and attackman in high school. Start things off in his college career as a freshman, comes out of the box as a midfielder, but before long he'll be playing attack here.
11 points Saturday for Sowers. He's the Tigers' all-time leader. Tough angle and a tough second save of the day for Collins.
Collins has a hot hand. 2 shots where Princeton could have scored. That one was point blank. Doing a good job of getting outlets to his midfielders. Young goalie really doing a good job on the road here in the third game of the
Prior to tonight, 4 career starts for Collins. Last year at Loyola against Navy, and this year at UNC and at Syracuse.
His first start of his career was last year against Loyola. Obviously, this year has gotten off to a rocky start, but he's embraced it well. Again, Coach Carwick is talking about exposure therapy, getting his players to be a little bit vulnerable and then improving upon there. He's talked to Collins before. He's like, hey, man, your goals against average is 18, 20. Are you doing all right? He's like, yeah, Coach, I'm getting lit up a bit, but this is great experience. I'm going to get better.
Stevens, part of that talented sophomore class in the midfield. They were freshmen last year. Quickly into the box. Brown has his stick knocked away, and another early turnover for the Tigers. It's their second one on 3 trips down the field.
Great yard sale check by Sean Nelson out of North Carolina. Again, getting out and being gritty. This was the defensive game plan for the Maroon and Silver.
John Donahue scooping it up. The Raiders quickly in, right back to Terrace. Top of the box, fires the shot. That's blocked by the Tigers. Ball kicking around between the lines, scooped up by the man who stepped in front of it, Ben Finley, first-year starter on defense. Here's Sowers quickly out in front, tic-tac-toe to Chris Brown, and we're tied up at 1, 4.5 minutes in.
Unbelievable skip pass off the fast break. Sowers right there on the point where he should be. He gives the look bottom low. It's a no-look pass. And what a great finish by Chris Brown on the doorstep. 6'2", 200 pounds out of Fairfield. It doesn't get much easier for him.
Shaw Nelson was in a good position, and Sowers just looked him away and then found the open man. And for Chris Brown, see on your screen, 3rd goal of the season, 29 straight games with a goal for number 6 for the Tigers. That's the 2nd longest active goal-scoring streak in the country, and he continues that string of scoring in every game of his career. He's the only junior to have done that.
Really impressive. Again, there are things that Sowers is doing to really separate himself from the other great attackmen in the country, but even in Princeton history. Offensive players overall in Princeton history. His records stand up there with Tom Schreiber, B.J. Prager, Jesse Hubbard. A lot of real greats coming out of this program.
4 assists shy of Ryan Boyle, 16 assists shy of Kevin Lowe for the all-time record here at Princeton. 1-1 the score, 5 minutes gone by. First meeting between the Tigers and the Raiders in 91 years. They met in 1922. They played again in 1929. They haven't seen each other since. All 3 meetings taking place here in the Garden State.
You know, I was an AP American History scholar. It's unfortunate that I never heard that in the classroom. Patriot League, Ivy League historic matchups should be a whole chapter in the textbook.
Raiders start the dodge. Here's the man who scored the first goal, Decker. And there's an early save for Peters. Peters starting for the 2nd time this season, the 11th time in his career. He started the season last year as John Levine's backup. Came in nearly, led the Tigers to a come-from-behind victory at Rutgers, a team that was nationally ranked at the time, and Peters never gave that starting goaltender job up. He was out there the final 9 games of the 2019 season. Junior out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
Peters, probably one of the best academic student athletes to come out of the DOCO Team 91 lacrosse club. He actually played for 2 different high schools. He started his freshman year at Chaparral and then finished up at Rock Canyon. Really good first save for him. And then he had a nice outlet pass to the midfield. That's why Princeton has a good possession here.
Brown with a short stick matchup, trying to shake his man. Shot bounces wide, but Robertson right there at X to back it up and swing it back out to Sowers with 30 to shoot. Sowers a step on his man, below goal line extended, feet over the top. McCarthy winds and fires, and it's wide.
Well, as expected, Sowers is all over the field. He's not even necessarily at the wing tonight. He's at the top right at the point. That's where he started his dodge. He got to GLE. Really nice skip pass over the top, and then he's there for the backup.
Sowers on the restart, 20 to shoot for the Tigers. They've got Nick Salameda. Actually, that's Decker, a short stick on Sowers at X. Carries above 9 to shoot for the Tigers. Slusher, the freshman, with 4 on the shot clock. Left side, fires over the crossbar. Flag is down. Shot clock expired. Good defensive stand by the Raiders, but let's see what the call is. Tigers are going to catch a break. That's a push against John Donahue, so they'll go man up for the first time.
A little bit of scrappiness, a little bit of action in front there. I was ultimately really impressed with the play of Will Sidari there. He was the one who was able to slide to Sowers when he had the short stick matchup. Again, a little bit of traffic in front, and unfortunately Donahue, the only returning starter at close defense, is now going to spend some time in the sin bin.
That has to be tough if you're Coach Matt Carwick. You play 78, 79 seconds of really good defense. Shot clock's about to expire, and then you give the Tigers the ball back. Robertson's been stationed at X tonight. Jamie Atkinson out there for the first time on the man up for the Tigers. 15 seconds left on the extra man for Princeton. Here's Sowers. This time he draws the pole. Shot out in front and a goal for the Tigers. That's Will Kuznirik.
Well, Michael Sowers is going to get credit for an assist on this one, but didn't really have to work too hard. Was operating at X. Found his guy at the wing, and a really nice big shot there by Big 24. There he is, just gingerly at X, bangs it out to the wing. He has a lot of space there. Again, on the man down, Sean Nelson was sloughed in and just not able to get there in time for the shooter.
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Suburban Transit Coach USA, you could charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Explore, enjoy, experience Mercer County. Picture yourself here.
Princeton goals by Chris Brown and Will Kuznirik, making it 2-1 Tigers as we welcome you back under the lights. Sherrod Field here at Class of 1952 Stadium. 7:43 to go in the first quarter. Rare Tuesday night contest here in Princeton. Jack Henry Vara for the Tigers, Malcolm Feeney for the Raiders. Jake Stevens with another early ground ball. The midfielder's off to the races. Here's Sowers. He loads up and he beats him. Princeton striking off the face-off, 3 in a row for the Tigers.
Third point of the game for Sowers, his first goal. Really good job by Jake Stevens to pick up this ground ball off the faceoff and then push transition immediately. We expected a lot of scrappy play at the middle of the X, but as we saw right there again, Stevens able to bang it to Sowers right at the point. We're going to see Sowers a lot up there, 22 in the top right-hand corner of the offensive set. That's where he's operating. He can move quickly to any other area of the field, but he is such a good and accurate shooter. He could finish out there 9 times out of 10.
Sowers has taken 1 shot tonight. He has 3 points on the heels of that 11-point outing Saturday against Monmouth. That tied his own program record for points in a game. He's done it once. 2 other players in Princeton history have also put up 11 in a game. And the Tigers win the faceoff, so faceoff's now even.
Big ground ball there for Andrew Song, back-to-back. Jake Stevens, Andrew Song, picking up quick ground balls off of the faceoff, ultimately saving time and energy from the other wing play, getting a nice settled possession off of the goal. Has a 2-goal lead here. See what the Tigers are able to do.
Tigers put it down on the carpet. It's scooped back up by Robertson, who's been quiet tonight. Chris Brown. Short stick matchup against Decker, the lone goal scorer tonight for the Raiders. The lefty gets center. Here's Vardaro looking to draw the slide. Back up top, handcuffs Brown, but he's able to get it in and out of the stick. Robertson comes around the near side, 30 to shoot. Sowers looking for a screen behind his man, shoots and scores. Dodging right down the center. It's 4 straight goals for the Orange and Black.
4 straight goals for Princeton. 4th point of the game from Michael Sowers. Once again, operating from the point. He is such a dynamic player. He could beat you outside, inside, left, right. He'll spin you like a dreidel, gets inside here, dodging like a midfielder, and a beautiful high-to-low shot into the bottom corner.
Went around number 12, Parker Badley, the most experienced member of this defense. He's out there with a pole tonight. We've seen him play some defensive midfield as well. Really the most experienced guy out there, 45th career game tonight. Team leader in caused turnovers, and Sowers got a step, and he was done.
You know you're getting off to a good start at Princeton if you are exposing the most experienced player on the Colgate defense.
Errant pass by the Raiders. Turnovers have been an issue. McGaltry had a chance at it, but the Raiders are able to scoop it up with their top attackman, Griffin Brown. Haven't really seen what he can do tonight. This is the first time he's had possession. Brown, each of the last 3 seasons, has been Colgate's leader in goals. 84 in his career puts him just outside the top 10 all-time in Hamilton, New York. Pass out in front, shot and a goal by the Raiders. That's James Cadigan taking the feed from Brown on the top side.
Underrated finish by Cadigan, right on the doorstep, off balance. Good job by Brown. He gets it on the wing, makes a dodge inside, finds the open guy, jump and a bounce right in. Didn't have a lot of mustard on it, but again, the goalie was out of position. He was able to hit the far side of the net. Nice goal for Colgate. They were able to take some time off the clock. Nice possession there when Princeton was on a run. James Cadigan, 3rd goal of the year.
Junior out of Smithtown West on Long Island. Led the team in shooting 2 years ago, 13 goals last year as a sophomore.
He wears number 3 and he's from Smithtown West. Do you think he's a Rob Pennell fan?
Might be. This is a veteran, as young as Colgate is on the defensive side. This is a veteran attack. You have Cadigan, the junior, and then Brown and Petkovich, both seniors. Outside of that, this is a young squad under a second-year head coach. Raiders wanted the push, but instead it's Pedersen, and he hits the pipe as he controlled the face-off, kicks out of bounds. Sowers is there.
Princeton's shot selection has been excellent recently. Sean Collins made those 2 big saves to start things off, and now they're getting into his head a little bit. Rattles that one off the pipe, so Collins will get credit for another save there. But Coach Madelon has to like what he's seeing out of his Tigers. They're winning face-offs off the GBs. They're getting good possession. Sowers attacking from everywhere. So far, so good.
Last year they talked about that recruiting class. They're sophomores now, but they just wanted to recruit some athletic two-way midfielders, and we've seen the athleticism off the face-off wings tonight. Here's Atkinson, second midfield line out there. Dodging in, shot, save made by Collins. And we get a whistle. The Tigers stepped in the crease.
Nice save there by Collins before the crease call, able to get his composure back a little bit. Let's see how Colgate operates on the clear. This has not been a strong spot for them.
3rd save of the night for Collins. The Tigers have scored. They did score 4 in a row before Colgate got one back. And we have a hold in the midfield, which will keep it with Colgate.
Lucky for Colgate, again, they started it with the short stick, right below the 50, ran into some traffic. Fortunate to possess here.
Griffin Brown, the senior from McLean, Virginia, skip pass through the defense. Ryan Decker has one. Instead, he elects to pass it up. Here's Cooper Bellinger. Second midfield line out there for the Raiders as well. James Cadigan at X. Tigers slide off him. Cadigan, 13 goals last year. Did have a 4-goal contest against Bucknell. Out to the midfield, here's Petkovic. The attackman fires wide, but it's backed up by the Raiders.
So now Colgate's attack is getting involved. Petkovic gets a shot there. Cadigan had the goal earlier. Griffin Brown has had the ball in his stick quite a bit. He had the nice assist to Cadigan. So now the Colgate offense is starting to take shape.
That opener back on February 1st down in North Carolina, their gorgeous new venue. 19-6 loss. The Raiders in that one shot just 18%. Second game of the season 11 days ago at Syracuse. They did lose, but they put up 14 goals in the Dome.
Yeah, it really didn't get out of hand until the fourth quarter. Coach Carwick was happy to see how his team improved from that one. The Carrier Dome is a really, really tough environment to play, especially early in the season.
His first win as a head coach was in the Raiders opener last year against Syracuse. Snapped a long losing streak against their upstate New York rival, as the Raiders toss that one out of bounds, and now the Tigers will try to clear.
Sloppy pass by Griffin Brown. You see him looking for the skip across the goal mouth for the second time tonight. Ultimately, there was only like 6 or 7 seconds left on the shot clock, so not the worst turnover, especially because Princeton had to start into the far corner, but really not the best look by number 11.
Number 15 out there for the Tigers. He's a defensive midfielder, Sam English, who was doing the bulk of the work on that clear. We have a moving screen, so the Tigers turn it over. Keep an eye on English for Princeton, number 15. Inside Lacrosse's number 10 ranked recruit out of Burlington, Ontario. In transition, the shot and the goal. Looked like the pole Aiden Toomey.
Griffin Brown able to get his first goal of the game. Really nice job here. Colgate running in transition. Ultimately, Brown was coming in from the outside in the low wing. Nice catch and finish.
Toomey set the screen. Brown was the man behind him. That's his team-leading 8th goal of the season. 85th of his career for the two-time All-Patriot League selection. He had 3 in the opener at North Carolina. He had 4 against Syracuse against Nick Mellon, who's a two-time All-American on defense.
He scored a lot of good goals against a lot of great goalies, and that is ultimately what offensive threats do, and it comes from experience. Again, he's been doing this at Colgate for the last 3 years.
Hold on the face-off against Jack Henry Vara. Actually, that was Tyler Sandoval out there, the freshman from Garden City, New York. First time we've seen him tonight. Shot, tough angle, sticked aside by Peters. And Petkovic falls into the crease, so that'll give it back to Princeton.
A lot of crease calls early in this one. Both teams doing a good job of penetrating hard to the goal. We're seeing a lot of inside dodges. Exciting stuff.
Not a lot on the ride tonight for Colgate. Here's Anderson. He steps in. Actually, Pedersen for the Tigers. And now Verdaro in the first midfield line joined the fray. Verdaro alongside McCarthy and Slusher. 4-3 the score. Collins, we talked about the opponents he's faced in his career. Talk about some of the players he's had to face early on as this one's fired wide. Trying to put together a tough schedule. Go from Chris Gray in the opener to Chase Scanlon. You refer to the new number 22 for Syracuse, and now Michael Sowers.
I mean, those two guys, along with Sowers, are probably 2 of the best finishers in the country.
Those might be your 3 All-American, first-team All-Americans on attack.
Right there. Chris Gray, the transfer from BU. What a great start to his North Carolina career that was.
Verdaro splits the defense and burns it. 5-3 Tigers on top. Second of the day for Verdaro.
Nice job by Verdaro, dodging horizontal from the outside and letting it go. Coach Carwick probably isn't happy with this. Colgate is now falling into more of a timid defense. He said that he didn't want his players to be prudent. He said they had too much of an ego. They didn't want to get beat on tape. And there they just let Verdaro kind of go from the outside of the arc. Hands clear, fires the shot. Prints it up too.
Said second of the day. That is the first of the contest for the sophomore from Woodmere, New York. 3rd of the season. Last year he was the Tigers' leading freshman scorer, 17 points, 12 goals to go along with 5 assists.
And that just speaks to the strong recruiting that's been going on here at Princeton. Really good class coming in this year. Vidaro, big sophomore who put up numbers in his first season last year. There's a lot of youth with this Princeton program.
Look at the underclassmen we've seen today in the midfield. You have Luke Anderson, Bo Pedersen, defensive midfielder Sam English, the number 10 recruit in the country. He's a freshman. Luca Lazaretto's made an impact on that first Princeton goal. He's a sophomore Pole. Jake Stevens is a sophomore. Kuzniak and Verdaro are sophomores.
Jake Stevens has had a great start for this game.
Stevens last year was a freshman, second-team All-Ivy League as a defensive midfielder. Moving into that second midfield line, and they're keeping him out there on face-off wings. Final 90 seconds, tough angle, low to high, and a save made by Peters. He's gotten off to a strong start for Princeton.
Mike Hawkins gets the GLE there, doesn't have much of an angle. Good job for Eric Peters to match stick high to get a nice save with 1 minute left in the first period here.
4 saves on 7 shots faced. High pass pulled down by Verdaro. Tigers can't quite hold for the final shot here. Got a 3-second difference between the shot and the game clock here in the first quarter. It was 1-0 Colgate out of the gate, and then Princeton put up 4 straight. And the Tigers trying to tack on to a 2-goal advantage. Sowers having another big day already. Quick feed. Verdaro hits the pipe. Flag flies. Tigers keep it. Free possession for Princeton. Sowers left side pass. Sniffed out by the netminder Collins, and now we get the whistle for the flag.
We'll see what the call is here. Looks like Connor McCarthy had a little bit of trouble on the handle. As the referees come up with the call, looks like it's going to be a hold, most likely on Colgate.
Whistle was killed by crease violation. Red, 3-6, interference. Knocked the stick out of his hand off ball, 30 seconds.
Interference on Sean Nelson.
So interference, and then you also had the crease violation, and crease violation was against Colgate. So the Tigers go man up for the second time today, and this would carry over into the second quarter.
Look at this. They have Sowers behind now. He spent so much time at the point. A different look for the Princeton attacker.
10 seconds left. Slusher, his shot deflected, scooped up out of the back of the crease by Collins as the first quarter comes to an end. Tigers had an opportunity on the man up, a good defensive stand by the Raiders. And with 15 minutes in the books under the lights here in the Garden State, it's Princeton leading Colgate 5-3. Back after this for the start of the second period. This is the Ivy League on ESPN. 5-3 Tigers on top of the Raiders.
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Suburban Transit Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Explore, enjoy, Experience Mercer County. Picture yourself here.
Michael Sowers with 11 points Saturday, 4 points already today, and here's where he ranks. Dave, this is the list of everyone who's played Division I lacrosse since 1990, and Michael Sowers topping that list, over 6 points per game in his career. Some impressive company.
Some consider Lyle Thompson to be the best college player ever. Pat Spencer making an awesome transition into NCAA Division I basketball with Northwestern. John Grant. What's more impressive about his college career is actually his professional career. He's timeless. And then we've spoken about Chris Gray, the transfer from BU, doing great things in Chapel Hill.
That final game of the regular season here in Princeton. Princeton against Cornell. Michael Sowers, Jeff Teat. I know they don't go up against each other, but you can't help but compare them because they're both seniors, similar type of game, and they could be gunning for some Ivy League records on the final day of the regular season, a game where the past few seasons that's meant a lot as far as Ivy League tournament positioning.
Yeah, I mean, with Teat and Sowers, it's like dueling dragons on opposite sides of the fields, and you're right, they're very similar players, really shifty offensive threats.
Is that your favorite ride down at Universal?
Yeah.
Is that Universal, Dueling Dragons?
Yeah. I think that they changed that to a Harry Potter ride, though.
Same ride?
Yeah.
Speaking of the ride, the Tigers making it tough for Colgate to clear. It's been an issue this season, 47 turnovers coming into this contest over their first 2 games, but they do get it across.
And Coach Carrick was talking to us about the rule change. No longer do you have just 30 seconds to get into the offensive box. Now you have to get it over the 50 at the 20-second mark. So he's talked about how this has been a problem for his team. He's talked about how if they're in trouble, he just wants to dump it in the corner. But, certainly an issue for this Raiders squad nonetheless.
Mike Hawkins carries in 35 seconds to work with here for the Raiders, who got the scoring started. They had a short-lived 1-0 lead. And they pull within 1. There's a bouncer and a goal by the Raiders. It's coming in from Brian Minikis, the midfielder, the sophomore, second of the season. Take another look.
Minikis doing a lot at the top of the angle now. Probably not the best shot selection, to be honest. An overhand bounce shot. Didn't exactly have a lot of mustard on it, maybe a little bit of off speed, but it gets past Eric Peters nonetheless, and it counts.
Maybe a little bit of a late slide there by George Baugh, number 17, the All-Ivy League defender, who's back in the starting lineup tonight. Didn't play Saturday, missed that game with an injury against Monmouth. It's a big addition for the Tigers, the junior. Last year, first team unanimous. All-Ivy League selection. He was a second-team selection as a freshman. He's back there at pole.
Parker Badley in. Luca Lazaretto on the near side wing. Let's see how this plays into the dynamic of this face-off. Release call, so the attacking comes out.
And the aforementioned Parker Badley with another ground ball. Lazaretto lashing at him on his heels, but Badley is able to carry it in. Shot high over the crossbar, backed up by Cadigan.
Good possession shot by Badley there. Again, he got the ball around the middle of the field. He had Lazaretto right on his tail. Takes a shot, knew that he had the backup. 63 seconds on the shot clock. Good strategy.
Seen a lot of smart shots on that end of the field by both teams tonight. Colgate with a chance to tie it here. 0-2, but their first 2 contests on the road against top 10 opponents in North Carolina and Syracuse. High-to-high, stick save by Peters. Long rebound goes right to Finley, the freshman starter on defense. Pass up ahead, Anderson into the box to Pedersen.
Second high-to-high save there from Peters.
4 saves tonight, 4 goals allowed for the junior Peters. Second-year starter, took over in the 6th game of the season last year. Top midfield line for Darrow, McCarthy and Slusher. Trying to go low to high, Brown slings it, Robertson closest. Haven't talked a lot about Philip Robertson tonight. He hasn't attempted a shot. Had 5 goals in the opener against Monmouth Saturday.
Typically, he's a beneficiary on the inside, and it's not surprising to see that Carwick is not having Colgate really slide from the crease at all. He knows that's an easy look for Sowers. He wants to make Sowers have difficult passes like that one, which would have went. Looks like he stepped in the crease going around. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was McCarthy from Sowers, but the possession goes back to the Raiders.
But that's what Coach Carwick wants him to do. Did you see that pass that Sowers had to make diagonal over the top? But nonetheless, if it had counted, that would have been a beautiful goal.
Sowers 4 points already tonight, 2 goals, 2 assists. And for the second straight possession, the Raiders with a chance to tie it. Here's a shot, never got through. Stebner and Finley there to deflect it, and it's Finley, the freshman, with the ground ball. Third ground ball of the night for number 10, the freshman. He has an older brother who plays on the men's lacrosse team at Brown. Bears picking up a 13-goal victory at home against Sacred Heart tonight, opening up their new venue. Should say earlier this afternoon. McCarthy in transition. Shot, they went low, and that's sniffed out by the netminder Collins.
Well, Sowers just hits Collins right in the stomach there, but Connor McCarthy, if that goal had been scored, it would have been completely credited to Connor McCarthy. What a snag that was, then gets it over to Sowers, but Sowers did not do a good job there of shooting where the goalie was not.
McCarthy needed all that 6'4" frame. Errant pass, they lost it momentarily, but it's scooped up by Minikis. Beautiful feed out in front, top shelf, and the Raiders tie it up. Nicky Petkovich, the senior from Bethesda, Maryland, to pull us even at 5.
Textbook offense from Colgate there. They drew the slide from the inside on George Boggin, number 17 for Princeton. Great finish by Petkovich, just hanging out right in that sweet spot area, 10 and 10, and he goes high. And that was Baughan, the crease defenseman, number 17, who was a little bit late on that slide. Tie ball game. Colgate is operating. All their attackmen are getting involved. Really good ball game here. 11-11 on the clock in the second quarter.
Tigers struggling at the faceoff. Ex-Feeney's won 7 of 9. They send Jack Henry Vara out there. He's just 2 for 7. Faceoffs have been an issue for the Tigers the past couple of seasons. This time mucked up a little bit, and it's scooped up at the Colgate line, and the Raiders looking to run in transition. Pass behind the intended target. It stays with the Raiders.
That was Sideri to Toomey, pole to pole. Toomey just unable to bring it in, but a really nice play by Colgate on the faceoff to ultimately goose it back to Sideri.
Transition game's been a lot better tonight for the Raiders than we've seen their first 2 games of the season, averaging 24 turnovers per contest, clearing at just 70% over the first 2 games of the season. You have to be happy with what you've seen in the midfield tonight.
Yeah, they've been more composed for sure, picking their battles, turning the ball over less, a little bit more effective on the clear, and most importantly, just being poised. Showing no intimidation on the road here. Battle tested for that.
And a chance here to take the lead for the first time since it was a 1-0 game just a few minutes in. Creeping up on the 10-minute mark here in the second quarter. Shot through traffic, whistles wide, hits Brown, and goes out of play. It'll stay with Colgate. Haven't seen a lot of Griffin Brown. He has a goal and an assist. He's only attempted 2 shots.
He's been carrying the ball quite a bit, which is what Coach Carwick wants. But other than the shot that he scored, which was more or less a spot shooter standing still, and then the really nice assist that he had to Cadigan, he's been moving with the ball, but not necessarily effectively. And with that, he's been a little bit quiet.
Stebner from Peters up across midfield off the stick of Pedersen, who takes a push from behind. And that'll keep possession with Princeton.
Yeah, that'll be on Aiden Toomey. Obvious push from behind on the clear. Princeton now has 77 seconds of fresh possession, and their man Michael Sowers operating from the point of the offense.
Tigers trying to get the lead back. Shots relatively even, 19-17 in favor of Princeton. Been an even game on the stat sheet. It's an even game on the scoreboard. 5-all with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Vardaro starts the dodge from the midfield. Pass out in front. Robertson in transition. The Tigers go back up top, on top.
Well, that's just Philip Robertson being Philip Robertson, right? Hanging out on the doorstep. Nice finish. Really good job there for the midfielder Vardaro to draw the slide. Brown creeps in. Boom. Quick stick. Far side. Stick side on Sean Collins. And number 11 gets his first goal of the day. 6th goal of the year.
Robinson missed the first couple of weeks last season, then regained his starting spot right around the midway point. Finished with 18 goals last year as a junior. 2 years ago as a sophomore, 33 goals, and he led the nation in shooting percentage. Call him the beneficiary, but there's something to be said for a guy where when he gets the ball, he doesn't miss.
No doubt about it. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the strongest guy. He's not the fastest guy, but he might have the best set of hands in the Ivy League.
60th career goal, 3 career assists.
Doesn't move the ball around a lot.
From a lacrosse family, all 3 of his brothers playing Division I lacrosse. His oldest brother, Matt, was a goalie at Virginia. Ian played attack at Maryland. His younger brother, Joe, a junior at Duke. Suffering an injury during preseason. He's out this season for the Blue Devils. And then Philip Robertson, third-year starter on attack here in Princeton. Slusher trying to dive under his man, instead passes it off. Sowers from his more traditional spot at X. Being lashed at by a defender. That's Will Sideri, the sophomore from Sudbury, Massachusetts, draws a couple of flags. Free possession, otherwise the Tigers will go man up for the 3rd time.
Looked like Brown set a pick there, and then Colgate ran through it.
Scrum for the ball. Robertson between a couple of maroon jerseys, scooped up. And a whistle as the Tigers will go man up once again.
Not sure what the call is going to be. Robertson was for sure. Tough call. I mean, it certainly wasn't a moving pick on Robertson. I guess he got a little bit of an elbow on the follow-through, so that'll go against Will Sideri. But I think that was just an aggressive fight-through on a pick, if you ask me.
Will Sideri, 6'1", 220. Philip Robertson, 5'6", 160.
Yeah, that's a matchup problem for Robertson, that's for sure.
Tigers 1 for 2 on the man up today and a chance to extend this 6-5 lead with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Cross-check is the call, 1 minute.
I'm not so sure about that.
Here's Sowers, Kuzniak, Atkinson at the top of the formation. Kuzniak and Atkinson playing catch. Now Slusher, the freshman, joining the fray on the man up. 35 left on the timer. Kuzniak, extra pass. Atkinson behind him, loses his footing, puts it on the turf. But a push keeps it with the Tigers.
Coach Carwick cannot be happy. Again, this was a bit of a weak penalty to call it a cross-check when he was fighting through in a pick. If anything, through a little bit of a shoulder. I'm not sure it warranted a penalty. Loose ball right there. Another push call. It's going to give Princeton the rock back with 70 seconds and a man up.
Tigers trying to take advantage. 15 seconds left on the man up. 3rd of the day for the orange and black. Sowers has his man. Slusher, extra move. Shot, beautiful save made by Collins.
Good job there by Slusher through about 3 face dodges in order to get himself to the goal, so I don't think Sowers would have gotten an assist. Credited to him if there was a finish there. But really good job to maximize the time at the end of the man up. Ultimately, Sean Conlon just makes a nice save.
Parker Badley trying to be the one-man clear, and then a flag comes in back in the defensive end. And another flag comes in on a big high hit from Song. Could potentially be 2 flags, both against Princeton.
Well, the first penalty is definitely going to be a slash on Sowers as he was riding. As you said, it might have been Song with the high hit on the second one. There's the slash on Sowers. And 32 is going to get hit with a 30-second push, it looks like.
Golden opportunity here for the Raiders. They'll be 6-on-4 for 30 seconds. And then 6-on-5 for another 30.
So Coach Carwick maybe not so thrilled with the refs on that last penalty call and then the loose ball push that kept it with Princeton, but then kind of 2 gimme calls back that now puts them on the man up. So you have to be happy if you're the Colgate coaching staff. You kill a penalty, and now you're up 2 men for 30 seconds and an additional man for 30 after that.
6-on-4 advantage for 30 seconds for the Raiders, down by a goal. Pass out in front. Peters turns him aside. There's the rebound, and he got him again.
2 great saves in a row. Unbelievable. What's great is the first save was low. The second save was high. He was unable to corral the rebound in the crease, had to take it out, and now things are dangerous.
Peters may be a little bit too aggressive. Nick Bauer able to jump in front, give Peters time to get back in the cage, and then a big hit by Bauer draws that gasp from the Colgate sideline. Pass out in front, roller, and a goal to tie us at 6. James Cadigan, the junior, strikes again.
Man, James Cadigan was out there on an island, completely alone, for that finish. Right off of the ride, scrappy play by Colgate to get the ball back. Cadigan just patient on the low left side, receives the pass. It was a little low, so he had a nice handle, and then he was one-on-one with Peters. Peters came up with 2 great saves, unable to convert on the clear, and ultimately Cadigan with the finish for Colgate.
Second of the day for Cadigan, and it pulls us even at 6 with 6:06 to go. 4th goal of the season for the junior out of Smithtown West. Raiders capitalize on their first man-up opportunity of the day. 6-6 the score here under the lights in Princeton.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
Meeting between these two teams. We have some polo, we have some baseball. Got some shots from the P-Rate at Princeton reunions coming up. Last time these two teams met, Herbert Hoover had just taken office. There's the captain of that Princeton 1929 lacrosse team, J.W. Stinson, with some very contemporary equipment. Similar to what you played with?
Yeah, not quite. I'm not quite that old, but yeah, the no helmet era, the leather gloves, the football jerseys. Princeton has some new gear this year, so quite a few things have changed between 1929 and 2020.
Last time these teams met, 1929, a 7-3 Princeton win, and then in 1922 it was 11-2 Tigers. Colgate just started playing lacrosse the year before that. Herbert Hoover had just taken office. It was 7 months before Wall Street crashed. First ever Academy Awards. There were only 48 states.
You talk about that Wall Street crash. A lot of Colgate and Princeton alums probably lost a bit of money there.
Got a good one here under the lights. 6-6 coming out of the media timeout. Shot deflected out of the stick of Verdaro. Robertson there to backstop it, so the Tigers will keep it.
Robertson's been doing a good job of standing his ground behind the net. Again, we know that Sowers is moving around in every which direction, so there needs to be backup behind the net for the orange and white. And today, that's Philip Robertson's job.
Here's Michael Sowers. 4 points tonight for number 22, bidding for his 3rd goal. He whistles it wide, but it's backed up by Princeton. Alex Slusher, the freshman midfielder, back there on the end line.
Sean Collins definitely got a piece of that with his stick. Good hustle by John Donahue to try to chase that out of bounds. But Princeton gets the ball back.
Look at Slusher on the restart. Top 50 recruit for inside lacrosse. Pass a little bit too high for Sowers. He's able to knife it down, taking some contact in that corner.
That's Sadari. Colgate not happy. They thought that Sowers warded off there. Can't say that I disagree. But Coach Carwick has to be happy with Sadari there, getting out on Sowers' hands. That's what he wants his defense to do, not be prudent, not slough off of slides. Be aggressive. Force your own defense to slide and recover. Be better at that, and that might get you the W.
And on the ensuing shot, Brown had trouble getting the hands free. This is a Princeton team that put up 20 Saturday. They have just 6 goals so far. Shot off the mark by Robertson, one hopper. Right to Slusher. Now Sowers, feet out in front. They load, they fire, and Vardaro scores. Now that's his second of the contest.
A high-to-high laser from Vardaro, and what a great two-man play by Slusher and Sowers behind the net. Time, room, bullseye, top corner. Sean Collins probably hardly saw that one, and a screen in front as well. Really good offensive positioning by the Tigers.
Vardaro had 12 goals all of last season as a freshman. He had 2 Saturday. He has 2 already today. 2018, he was the Nassau County Midfielder of the Year out of Hewlett High School. 256 career points.
One of the best players on the South Shore, no doubt.
Tigers swing it back into their favor. 7-6 the score. Face-offs, 8-5 in favor of the Raiders. And it's been Malcolm Feeney out there for all of them. Feeney has a beat on this one against Jack Henry Vara. Push. And possession.
For sure, an obvious push from behind there. Interesting to see a face-off set for Colgate without Parker Badley. I have to imagine he's pretty exhausted. He's been doing it all. Short stick, long stick, guarding up on Sowers, so he takes that face-off off.
Might be the first time we've seen him on the sideline. Shot fired wide. Colgate will get to restart. Nicky Petkovich, the senior from Bethesda, Maryland.
Drew about 3 slides there.
Mike Hawkins trying to turn the corner, goes low, and that's a save made by Peters, who springs out of the goal. We had a hold, so that'll keep it with Colgate. Good save by Peters, and he'll have to reset. A lot of bodies out in front of the Princeton net. Ball down on the artificial surface.
That was a good job of slushing and colliding to the middle by the Princeton defense on the inside feed. 3 white bodies on 1 red body in the middle. That's the way you want to get aggressive when your opponent is slinging the ball, especially on the inside.
Tigers tried to clear. They lose it in the midfield. Hawkins feeds inside. Shot by Brown, and another save made by Peters.
Impressive shot by Griffin Brown. Shoots the ball, moving away from the net. Peters read it wide right away and made a nice low save.
4-on-2. Robertson, the third man to touch it on the clear, goes top shelf, and the Tigers go back up by 2.
And right the other way, defense turns into offense. Eric Peters makes a big save, and then Philip Roberts scores on the other end. Nice fast break. Sowers at the point. Roberts down low where he's supposed to be. Robertson gets his 2nd goal of the game, and I believe of all of the goals he scored in his career, that is the 29th to be assisted by Michael Sowers.
Yeah, that's a duo that people around the country are probably tired of seeing. Both of them seniors. Robertson from Salem, Virginia. Sowers from not far from Princeton, Dresher, Pennsylvania. 2nd goal of the day by Robertson. Him, Vardaro, and Sowers each with 2 apiece. Robertson injured to start last season. The Tigers had Emmett Cordray starting the year on attack, and then when Robertson regained his spot on the attack, Cordray finished up a strong senior campaign in the midfield. So this is really the 3rd straight season of Sowers, Brown, and Robertson on the attack.
They operate really well, and look at this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Parker Badley was playing a little offense there. Now they're calling him off. He had the last shot that went out of bounds. Again, he's hardly seen the bench tonight, doing pretty much everything for this Raiders team. It'd be really impressive if he got a goal there, a good possession shot, and Coach Carwick prudently takes him out.
Decker feeds a man Petkovich out in front, and he whistles it wide. Shots relatively even, 28-25 in favor of Princeton. Restart with Brown coming in from the alley near side. Cooper Bellinger, 2nd midfield line out there. Bellinger against Luke Anderson, the sophomore, sends him below goal line extended. Cadigan carries it top side. Now back to X. Brown distributing. His pass a little bit too high, rolls across midfield. And Colgate turns it over. Another 4-on-3 run. Here's Sowers. He's going to take it himself, and it's wide right.
Good backup there by Chris Brown. on that earlier set by Colgate. Griffin Brown looking for Petkovic, just out of Petkovic's reach. And then Princeton was able to get a good transition start off of that turnover, just unable to convert on the shot.
Second midfield line out there. Stevens holding, gives it up to Atkinson. Kuzniak, the third man out there in the midfield. Stevens, sophomore Canadian on the move. Low save made by Collins. And he's able to scoop it up. Save number 10 already for the sophomore.
Princeton's been doing a good job of dodging and getting shots from the perimeter, but Collins has been seeing it. Collins has made a lot of great saves from the outside. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the only goal that Princeton has scored from deep, I think Collins had a little bit of a screen there. I think it was the most recent Princeton goal.
I think you're right. Tigers knife down that pass, and George Bond's able to scoop up the ground ball. Second ground ball of the day for the all-conference defender, making his season debut after he missed Saturday's game with an injury. Bond last year third in the Ivy League in caused turnovers per game. Unanimous first-team All-Ivy League selection. Vardaro has two, passes it up Brown, and a kick save made. Sends it deep into the Princeton night. Timeout taken by the Tigers here with just under a minute to go, 55 seconds left in the second quarter.
That was the second time Chris Brown changed levels on his shot. Probably had more time than he thought. Could have gone overhand to increase his angle to score that goal on the far side. But regardless, goes high. Collins got a piece of it. As you said, I think he kicked it up and maybe even hit his lid on the way out of bounds. Princeton was able to have the guy closest there on the end line. They'll have a fresh 80 with 55 seconds left, so they can easily hold for a last shot here.
Last time out, Sean Collins, a career-high 15 saves against Syracuse in that loss at the Carrier Dome. He already has 11 tonight, and we're not even through 30 minutes.
When you look at his numbers from last season, again, he had only that one start against Loyola, gave up 18 goals, but 22 saves.
Take a look at where Chris Brown stands on that active goal-scoring streaks. That number for Brown, 29 now. He has a goal tonight. James Kitchen for Delaware has scored in 34 in a row, but Chris Brown, the only upperclassman in Division I lacrosse to score in every game of his college career. 29 straight for the junior. You talk about Sowers a lot and you talk about Philip Robertson, but Chris Brown, with what he's done tonight, he has a goal. He has 93 career points, and he's 2 games into his junior season.
Consistency is key. He had the first goal of the game tonight, so you know what got Princeton off to a really hot start, a really talented third attacker for the black and orange.
And there you see the Tigers' new offensive coordinator, Jim Mitchell, took over after 3 years under Pat March, who's now the OC at Syracuse. So, of course, Colgate just saw him a couple weeks ago, but Jim Mitchell last season as the head coach at Bellarmine, longtime assistant at Bellarmine, and then after that he was the offensive coordinator at Rutgers. So
it's always nice to have a former head coach on your staff. Sometimes head coaches in Division I lacrosse could be a little bit scared to bring on a former head coach,
especially
to their
young
staff.
head coaches.
Absolutely young head coaches. You always have to think this older guy might have an agenda, bringing in his own recruits. Maybe he's not going to stick around for long. Maybe he's going to hang out here for a second and then hop on to his first head coaching job. But Madelon has done a good job here building a very, very solid staff, especially after he lost his offensive coordinator to Syracuse.
And their defensive coordinator, that was sort of a revolving door. Up until a couple of years ago, the Tigers had 6 defensive coordinators in 6 years, and now Jeremy Hirsch, a former Tiger, back for his 3rd season running the defense.
You have to imagine as an alum, there's hopes that he's going to stay and be a consistent defensive leader from the sidelines for this Princeton team.
Tigers can hold for the final shot. Good spot for Sowers with a 2-goal lead. They try to go high, and that time Collins sniffs it out. 20 seconds to go. Colgate has an opportunity here to cut it to 1 heading into the break.
Philip Robertson got stuffed high to high, and now Colgate has 11 seconds to operate.
Colgate also has some timeouts. Here's a shot. Not a great look by Petkovic. Save made by Peters. He'll launch it the length of the field. Right into the cross of Collins, and there's the final horn. 30 minutes in the books. The Princeton Tigers have a narrow 2-goal lead, 8-6 the score here. 3 Tigers with multiple goals and a big first half by Sean Collins. 12 saves for the sophomore netminder, 3 shy of his career high. 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points for that man, number 22, Michael Sowers. 8-6 Tigers lead here at the half.
Day 23. I'm about to capture proof of the ivory-billed woodpecker. What? Oh, no.
Battery power runs out. Lifetime retirement income from TIAA doesn't. Guaranteed monthly income for life.
Do you need a contractor for residential or commercial projects? We've got them, but we're not your average union. We offer world-class apprenticeship programs, training our workers to produce high-quality results every time. So whether it's a residential, commercial, or industrial project, you can count on Local 9 being the right fit. Learn more about all we have to offer at ualocal9.org.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Suburban Transit Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Okay, let's run it again. Olympic shooting. Let's go. Good. Let's get buckets.
Princeton was the right fit for a lot of reasons. It's just a prestigious, high academic institution, a lot like Tufts, and where I'd be coaching driven, smart, hardworking student athletes. Something that I'm used to after 17 years, and Princeton definitely has that here.
Let's switch 1 through 4 now. High hedge with a 5. Okay, here we go.
It was just the right time for sort of a new experience, a new journey for myself and my family, and just decided to take the big step.
Run wide! Run wide! You have to jump just a little bit under so you don't get in her way, because she's trying to get back, but you kind of stop short.
As a head coach at Tufts, just felt like, for one, we didn't have a lot of practice heading into our first games. We had a November 1st start date, and we would play 2 weeks later. Just thought, offense takes a long time just to, chemistry-wise to get going, but defense is something that, the building blocks are always there.
We just got to stay down and keep sliding. Just because they've jump stopped, it's not over, right? We got to keep sliding with that. And talk. We don't want to have them going downhill on us, and we don't know whether we're switching it or not. Okay, we're just going to switch that.
The 1995 team was, it was an amazing year. Coach Rayama was just every single day just looking for perfection from us, and amazing leaders, Rebecca Lobo, Pam Weber, Jen Rosati, Jamel Elliott, and I think it just led to just greatness.
Make sure you finish that cut, right? You didn't finish it and then you got it down there. Finish it.
I followed the Ivy League for many years, and knew a lot about Bella and Carly and the team, and the best part is, yes, they're extremely talented and driven and all these things, but they're just really great people.
Names, strong passes. Good, Mac. Good, deny that. No face cuts. Get there. Box. That's a great one. Okay, here we go. Tigers, 1, 2, 3. Tigers!
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Suburban Transit Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Do you need a contractor for residential or commercial projects? We've got them, but we're not your average union. We offer world-class apprenticeship programs, training our workers to produce high-quality results every time. So whether it's a residential, commercial, or industrial project, you can count on Local 9 being the right fit. Learn more about all we have to offer at ualocal9.org.
Halftime here at Sherrod Field on the Princeton University campus. The Colgate Raiders keeping it within striking distance. 8-6 Tigers lead. Cody Cruciel, Dave Franklin back with you. And Dave, let's take a look at the first half highlights. It's familiar candidate early on for the Tigers.
That was a great no-look pass by Will Sowers on the first goal. He has 4 points in this game, operating as usual. Almost like too easy. He's able to dodge. He's able to stand still and create points. Nice off-the-hip shot there. Dodges inside and able to find the attacker on the crease. And there was a really good save by Sean Collins. He has been the story for Colgate, the sophomore goalie. As everyone's been saying, the best goalie in the country with the worst goals against average. 12 saves tonight. He's been attacking the outside shots, and this could easily be a 16-6 game in favor of Princeton.
Matt Carwick told us earlier this week, don't let the numbers fool you. He got lit up against North Carolina and Syracuse, but don't let those stats fool you. He's kept them in some games. He's made some great saves, and just 3 saves shy of his career high already, and we still have 30 minutes of lacrosse left to go. Outside of that, relatively even outside of that face-off number. That's an area the Tigers will look to clean up in the second half. Back after this with the second half face-off, 8-6 the score.
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Suburban Transit Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
See the Division I media poll released yesterday, and 2 of those top 10 teams falling earlier today. Army suffering their first loss of the season, and Maryland also falling today to Villanova, 13-12. That Army score, a little bit surprising. 17-9 they fall in Poughkeepsie against the Marist Red Foxes.
Army got off to such a hot start. They beat UMass. They were able to put away NJIT, an unbelievable win over Rutgers in the battle of the Black Knights versus the Red Knights, and then to fall 17-9 to the Marist Red Foxes at home in West Point. That's a head-scratcher for sure.
Couple of Ivy League teams there, too. You have Yale ranked 3rd, Penn ranked 8th, Army in the top 10. Cornell just outside the top 10, and then, of course, Loyola and Lehigh ranked in the top 20 out of the Patriot League. Ivy League and Patriot League both looking pretty strong in the men's lacrosse circuit this year.
Certainly both leagues are off to a hot start. People are very excited to see what Harvard's going to produce with Jerry Byrne taking over there. Princeton is on pace to have maybe their best season since 2012. Army, as we said, until today's loss to Marist, put Patriot League on the map to start 2020. So it should be an interesting rest of the season for these two conferences.
Talked about Jerry Byrne up at Harvard. The Princeton Tigers sort of running the gauntlet this year of the Kevin Corrigan coaching tree. They saw Brian Fisher last week against Monmouth, and of course, who took over for Brian Fisher at Notre Dame 7 years ago? Matt Carwick, who's now the head coach at Colgate, and then Jerry Byrne, longtime assistant for the Fighting Irish under Kevin Corrigan. The Tigers will see him in the second half of the season when they make the trip up to Harvard.
A lot of people thought that Sean Kerwin, offensive coordinator for Virginia, was going to get that job at Harvard. Jerry Byrne had been a head coach before in the Division II level for St. Anselm, but I think that he'll do great things up in Boston.
Face-offs. One of the storylines in the first half, it's been dominated by Malcolm Feeney. He won 10 out of 15 in the first half against a couple of Tigers. And on the push on the face-off against Princeton, it'll be Colgate starting off the second half with possession.
Parker Badley is going to pick this one up with the pole. Or rather, they're going to put him in transition. He's going to bring it in from the middle now.
Here's Badley with the pole, and he shoots and scores to pull the Raiders back within one. Talk about Parker Badley on the defensive end, and he has his first goal of the season.
I believe that was Badley's 4th shot of the game, but this was his first one with a long pole. Unbelievable high-to-high shot, pierces the corner. Great awareness off of the face-off to stay on the field and in the middle for open space where he's able to come in on a fast break. Princeton should have done a better job of identifying that.
Is that a tough adjustment to make it all mid-game?
For the most part, yeah. I actually was in a similar position when I played college lacrosse. I was a short stick D-midi, and at times I played long stick. You just kind of have to adjust your own biomechanics with the stick mid-game. But to see Padley, who went 0 for 3 with the short stick, then pierce one with a long stick, that's impressive.
Also has a caused turnover today, leads the team with 6 over the first 3 games of the season. 8-7 the score. Tigers do win the face-off. Here's Stevens, the sophomore. Leaves it off to Brown, who's going to back it up into the alley and give the first midfield time to get on and join the fray. Michael Sowers, ho-hum first half, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Had his second career 11-point outing to tie his own school record on Saturday in that win against Monmouth.
And I'm telling you, Cody, he's making it look easy. He's ginger behind the net, no-look passes. He's just smooth.
Sowers being lashed at by Will Sederi, the sophomore on defense. Shot rings in wide, and it's backed up by Robertson. Sowers came into the night 266 points, and now he's at 272. 6th most in Ivy League history.
It's incredible to think that if Princeton does make the tournament this year, between Sowers and Schreiber, 2 of the best players in Princeton history, only 2 NCAA tournaments between them if Princeton is able to make it this year.
Tough run in the Ivy League. You figure Yale, Penn, both in the top 10. Cornell ranked just outside the top 10, ranked 11th. Here's McCarthy, goes low, bounces it home, and the Princeton leads back up to 2.
3rd assist of the game for Sowers, again, making it look easy. He's basically flat-footed. He's just surveying the field, finds the guy that he wants at the top. Beautiful bounce shot, high to low. We talked about how Sean Collins was doing a good job of fielding the outside shots. There was no traffic there. He was able to see that one cleanly. But again, the way that we were able to see McCarthy change levels on the bounce shot, that was the difference maker. You have to think Madelon said to his boys at halftime, hey, we can't just be throwing straight gas at Sean Collins. We got to change things up a bit.
Connor McCarthy using a lot of leverage from that big 6'4 frame. First of the day on his 4th shot for the senior from Sudbury, Massachusetts, product of Lincoln Sudbury, won a couple of state titles. And the Tigers' lead is back up to 2. They've gotten it to 2 a couple of points. They've struggled to expand it beyond that. Ball rolling towards the near side. Jack Henry Vara with a rare ground ball off the face-off win for the Tigers. First ground ball of the day for the Tigers' face-off man, and then some contact. Brown knocked back into his own end. Here's Armin Medgalchi, has it stripped from behind. A hold, keeps it with the Tigers.
Not so sure about that one. Griffin Brown with a nice over-the-head trail check. Referee's going to call the hold, and this is a much-needed possession for Princeton.
Pass a little bit too strong for Robertson, has it, loses it out of bounds, and Princeton turns it over.
Alexander Vidaro had a nice little bull dodge there. Was able to get it behind the net to Robertson, who wasn't able to handle. Let's see if Colgate's able to successfully clear here.
Princeton's led by as many as 3. It was a 4-1 game midway through the first. Since then, it's really been a 1 or 2 goal contest. Off the turnover in transition, Brown nets another one, and that Tigers lead is back up to 3. Chris Brown with his second of the day. 4th Tiger with multiple goals.
It's just too easy. Princeton able to pick off the failed clear. Sowers picks it up, jogs it in. Brown wide open. Buries the bounce shot. Getting into Collins' head now, having given up the last 2 goals. And again, a failed clear for Colgate. That was a great opportunity for them to get the ball on the other end after Philip Robertson had the mishandle behind the net. They get it all the way up to the midfield line. Desperation pass towards the middle. Sowers picks it up, jogs it into the offensive end with numbers. And there, of course, is Chris Brown with the easy finish.
Rare failed clear tonight. The Raiders, prior to that, were 8 of 9. They were 70%, just a shade under 70% over the first 2 games of the season, so they've done a better job tonight. Stevens with another ground ball. He's had a big night on the face-off wing. 4 ground balls, a couple of caused turnovers for number 14 for the Tigers. Sophomore from Ontario, product of Culver. Tigers continue to go back there. They had Zach Currier, Riley Thompson, Dawson McKenzie. Roster this year, you have Jake Stevens, Luke Anderson. Three-goal lead matches the largest of the night by the Tigers. They did lead 4-1 midway through the first quarter. And now you have Sowers all the way out by the restraining line. Left hand, his pass a little bit too tall for Slusher. Diving attempt in vain, and the Tigers turn it over.
Sowers drew the pull there on the perimeter. Had an inside look, a little bit risky there. Ultimately goes out of bounds off of Princeton, but yeah, you know, Sowers is being a little bit creative. Again, he's operating from multiple spots on the field. He's surveying with his eyes. He's showing a lot of composure. Now he's starting to get creative with a 3-goal lead in the second half.
Turnovers plaguing the Raiders here in the second half. Tigers looking to pick up their largest lead of the night. 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Into the stick of Sowers. 2 goals, 6 assists, an 8-point night for Sowers on the heels of that 11-point outburst Saturday. Chris Brown loses it. Matt Madelon trying to get the timeout in, and he does with 10:36 to go. Tigers taking their first time out here in the second half.
Good coaching call there by Princeton. Again, this has been an up and down game. A lot of goals have been scored in transition and off of loose balls. Princeton, 3-goal lead, have been dominating the possession game so far despite losing faceoffs. So a really good timeout there as the offensive player was tiptoeing the sideline.
Tigers have a 3-goal lead, and they will have possession out of this timeout. 10-7 the score here under the lights at Sherrod Field.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
Michael Sowers, 2 goals, 6 assists tonight, with those 6 assists moving into second place on the Tigers' career assist list. Moving past a pretty good one, Ryan Boyle, and he's now 11 behind Kevin Lowe for the all-time Princeton record. You can see what he's done: 82 points as a freshman, 83 as a sophomore, 90 as a junior. All 3 years are good enough to set the record that stood before number 22 stepped foot on campus.
He's had a fantastic career here at Princeton, no doubt. Again, we said it earlier, his name is associated with so many great offensive players. Jesse Hubbard, Chris Massey, Sean Hartopolis, the Prager brothers. The main difference between him and those guys is those guys played a lot of postseason lacrosse, Cody.
Sowers trying to get his Tigers there this year. Off the restart, McCarthy lets it fly. Bounces wide, backed up by Robertson. Michael Sowers, one of 7 players in Ivy League history with 100 career goals and 100 career assists. Others on that list: Rob Pennell, Dylan Malloy, Ben Reeves, Darren Lowe, Mike French, and Jeff T. Pretty good company.
What do you call that when you have 100 and 100? Is that a lacrosse triple-double?
Double-double? Triple-double? I like lacrosse triple-double.
I like it as well. Aiden Toomey had a yard sale with Alex Slusher on that one. That was a helicopter check. Ultimately, Princeton's going to possess it.
10 minutes to go, third quarter, 3-goal lead. Matches the largest of the night for the Tigers. Sowers off the restart, carries up top, short stick matchup.
Good switch there by Colgate on defense. It was ultimately Donahue who had Sowers first. Then there was a pick thrown by Chris Brown. Colgate then made the switch, and then they put the short stick, Ryan Decker, on Sowers and forced him to take an outside shot.
2 of their starters on defense, Sean Nelson and John Donahue from the lacrosse hotbed of North Carolina. Robertson turned aside on the doorstep, another save by Collins, and this time a friendly carom out to a teammate in Parker Badley.
I'd like to see how Colgate clears here, but that was a really good job by Sowers and Robertson to mirror each other on the crease. Robertson did a nice job of showing himself in the opposite direction of which Sowers was moving. He had a little bit of daylight to shoot there.
Colgate trying to chip away. They've been able to keep it manageable here today. Griffin Brown, team leader in goals. Has 1 today to go along with an assist. Back up top, here's Marshall Terrace. Tigers slide on him. Errant pass behind the cage, thrown away.
That's a missed opportunity by Colgate there. James Cadigan was definitely open on the crease. Colgate chose to bang it behind. Errant pass. And now Princeton will have an opportunity to clear it out of their corner with George Ball.
So Matt Madelon calling the shots on the Tigers sideline. 5th season as their head coach. Tigers clear with Jake Stevens. Head of steam for the Ontario native. Instead passes it off. Top of the box, Brown. He's a lefty. Bo Pedersen joining the fray in the midfield. Now Pedersen trying to head off to the sideline. He was an offensive midfielder last year. This year they've slid him to that defensive midfield role. With 3 top short stick defensive midfielders, all either freshmen or sophomores. Stevens in a rhythm, and that's another save, number 13 on the night for Collins. Rebound goes back to Princeton with a fresh shot clock.
Collins really needed that save. He saw the rubber from the outside, high to low, was able to get low on his knees in order to stop that one.
Atkinson, the junior, back to Sowers. Carrying above goal line extended, takes some contact, bounces off with 60 still to shoot. They'll try it with Kuzniarek from the midfield. Stevens trying to get the hands free, gets tangled up with the defender and passes it off. Sowers tries it again from the alley.
Princeton is picking Brown on Sowers a lot, which is smart.
Man is open, shot hits the pipe. The putback is good by Stevens. And then he takes a high hit, flags fly after the goal.
Yeah, this is going to be an and one for Princeton, but that was a great way in which that goal developed. There was the two-man game between Sowers and Brown. Sowers was able to take it back behind, and then Brown was able to come off the pick, wide open, time and room in order to bang that outside shot. Really good save by Collins. And then, of course, Princeton was there to clean up the garbage in front. We've been talking a lot about Jake Stevens. He's been crucial in the transition game tonight. That time, beneficiary on the doorstep, and gets a late hit in order to give Princeton a man.
Will Sedaria the guilty party, so he'll take a knee for the second time tonight. Jake Stevens last year, 5 goals, 3 assists as a freshman. What he does between the restraining lines, probably most impressive. 60 ground balls a year ago, the most by a Princeton freshman in nearly 30 years. College debut, he had 9 ground balls. He had 9 ground balls a couple of weeks later against a ranked Denver team. That was really where he got some national attention. That was Bill Tierney's return to Sherrod Field.
And Denver certainly knows how to recruit scrappy Canadian midfielders just like that. Kid from Culver Military Academy in Indianapolis. I'm telling you, I think they're the best high school lacrosse program in the country. And I'm a Nassau County guy from Long Island. Garden City is great as well. But, you know, Culver really operates, no pun intended, military precision.
Tigers have gone back to that well, and it's paid off. Jake Stevens certainly reminds you of another Culver graduate in Zach Carrier. Jamie Atkinson extending the lead. 12-7, largest lead of the night, 5-goal advantage for the Tigers. Atkinson, the junior from Garden City.
Jamie Atkinson from Garden City on cue, just hanging out on top of the box, gets the skip pass from X, and has a lot of room to shoot. Again, Harwick said that if Sowers is going to be effective tonight, he wants him to throw long skip passes. Sowers' response, okay.
Never been a problem before for number 22. I think in the past you saw Sowers and he was the ex-attackman with really good vision and quick feet. Over the first 2 games of the season, he's given a lot of coaches some things to think about with everything they've put on film.
Well, he's become so experienced, he's become so poised that he's able to ultimately slow his game down a little bit and then freeze defenses. When he was a fast and shifty jackrabbit, it really forced teams to slide a lot to him, and then it would create some problems offensively for Princeton, you know, deep in tight. But now that he's slowed down his game a little, he's able to show composure as he sets up the offense. It's great.
Stevens off the face-off wing, buries his second of the half, and the Tigers trying to run away with it. 13-7, the lead up to 6.
3 straight goals for Princeton, 2 of them scored by Stevens. Nice alley dodge here in order to score that one low. Culver Military Academy graduate from Canada. Number 14 for Princeton, that's Ryan Boyle's old number. Again, Boyle was more of a distributing attackman, but you have to think that he has to approve of this Canadian putting up numbers in his old jersey.
Colgate will take a timeout, and their head coach Matt Carwick after a 5-0 run for the Tigers. 5 goals over the last 6 minutes or so have the Tigers on top by a 6-goal margin. Matt Madelon talking it over with Michael Sowers, who's really been running this offense since his freshman season. And you would think Sowers in April's PLL draft a lock to be one of the top 3 picks. Everything I've read, it's Michael Sowers, Grant Amon, and then if you, depending on how you value face-off, T.D. Erlin.
No question about it. You could certainly, potentially, expect to see Michael Sowers get drafted with the first overall pick by the Water Dogs. Those other players that you mentioned, certainly in consideration. The other big question is going into the PLL draft, is Rob Pinnell going to switch over from the MLL? That seems to be a rumor in circulation. Rob's brother James is currently with the PLL Atlas, and as there's been some transition in the MLL, their highlight player outside of Lyle Thompson, an Ivy League man from Cornell, might also play for the Water Dogs. It'd be great if he played alongside Michael Sowers at some point on the pro level.
Take a look around the Ivy League earlier this week. Over the weekend, Yale downing Villanova. T.D. Erlin doing what he does, 23 of 31. And Yale, of course, the last 2 seasons suffering losses against the Wildcats to open their season. And then Villanova with a big win over Maryland tonight. Penn falling at Maryland, 17-15. The Quakers had a 6-goal lead midway through the 3rd quarter. The Terps ended that one on an 8-0 run. Cornell with a 9-goal victory against Albany. And then Brown opening with a win. The Bears picking up another win today. Dartmouth sneaking past a first-year Division I program, Merrimack. There haven't been a lot of programs better positioned to make the jump than the two that did it this year, Merrimack and LIU.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. Two championship-level programs. LIU, of course, made an entire athletic department-wide transition, changed their names from the Pioneers to the Sharks. They have a great coaching staff on Long Island and obviously have a great recruiting hotbed to choose from. And then Merrimack has been getting it done on the Division II level for quite a while, and they've been seeing some very early success so far as they made the transition to D1, as you said.
Out of the Colgate timeout, Tigers start off with possession and a 6-goal lead. Tigers put up 20 in their season opener against Monmouth. That 20-9 victory against the Hawks. Third straight season, the Tigers open with a win against Monmouth. The 9th straight season overall, they won their season opener. Slusher, here's Vardaro, short stick matchup. Draws the early slide and passes it up. Chris Brown has a couple tonight. Sowers has him hung up. Turning the corner, top shelf, not a lot of open real estate, but he buries it. How about the night for Michael Sowers? 3 goals, 7 assists, double-digit points for the second time in as many games.
He's getting close to putting up 11 again, and that was a really nice, well-placed shot as he was turning the corner on the dodge there. Once Marshall Terrace ultimately was the short stick behind the net, you knew that they were in trouble. As you said, he was hung up. Terrace actually took a full step over the back of the goal, and then Sowers reversed his field. He never had a chance again. Sowers had room to come above GLE, but he was able to position his stick to get a better angle and just puts it around Collins and into the top corner.
Biggest mistake he's made all night was dropping his mouth guard down on the turf on his jog back to the sideline after that one. 3 goals, 7 assists. This is game 2 of the season. Michael Sowers has 21 points.
It'd be incredible to see him score 11 points twice in the first 2 games of the season. And then ultimately, if he were to get 12 points tonight and break that three-way record that he's sharing with some other Tigers, that would certainly make it special as well. And there's Colgate dumping it into the corner on the clear. We talked about that. Colgate has been atrocious on the clear tonight. It's resulted in many Princeton goals, and Coach Carwood told us yesterday, hey, if we're in trouble, I just want my boys to dump it in the corner. We have attackmen down there who are capable of scrapping, and for the first time tonight we see Colgate do it. It perhaps saved them from a transition goal as Princeton's been capitalizing on tonight.
Michael Sowers with 9 or more points in a game for the 10th time in his career. Everyone else in Princeton history, so Sowers has done that 10 times. Everyone else who's ever played for Princeton has done it 16 times combined. 10 goals for the 5th time. He has had 2 11-goal games. And he has the ball here and about 20 minutes to work with in this contest. Pass up top, shot on the run, save made. Been a quiet second half for the netminder Collins, who had 12 first-half saves.
That was a good off-hip save by Collins there on Vardaro. Princeton's going to get the ball back. We've been seeing a lot of short sticks on Sowers tonight. And Coach Carwood told us that might be the case. We're going to throw a lot of guys at them. But for the most part, I thought it would be Parker Badley who'd be the only short stick teeing up on him. We've seen Ryan Decker actually do a decent job against Sowers tonight, but let's be honest, who is really doing a decent job against Sowers tonight?
15 saves for Collins after that last trip down the field. That matches his career high from last time out against Syracuse. Here's a skip pass. Extra pass out in front between 3 Colgate players, and they pick it off.
I think Vardaro was trying to be a little bit cute there. He made an extra pass back up top to Chris Brown, who then fed the inside. I think that Vardaro had a nice opportunity to rip that from the wing with backup behind in order to keep the possession going.
Well, Sederi caused the turnover and then almost threw it into his own goal. Flags come in. Princeton gets it back, and this is going to be a violation against the Tigers. If it is against Princeton, Colgate will go man up for just the 2nd time tonight.
They could certainly use a man-up opportunity. Princeton has started to pull away. They've doubled up on the Raiders.
Offsides against the Tigers, Michael Sowers.
So Sowers comes into the penalty box for the 2nd time tonight. Again, as an attackman, that's not so consequential. If Princeton causes a turnover, they have other guys in the offensive end who could waste a little bit of clock, but Sowers got called for a slash earlier and now an offsides infraction.
32nd man up as we look at it from behind the net. 7 saves, 7 goals allowed by Peters. Relatively quiet second half in net for the junior. Thought about the feed over the top of the cage. Here they set up Petkovic, and he whistles it wide.
Nice hustle play there by Bond to try to make the dive to get it back. Excuse me, that was Lazaretto.
7 seconds left on the man up for the Raiders. James Cadigan playing catch out of the top of the box, feed onto the doorstep. Back at even strength. Pedersen joins the fray, so we're back at 6-on-6. Here's a bouncing shot blocked by a Princeton defender, and quickly the ground ball scooped up by Pedersen just off the sideline.
Good crease slide by George Bond there.
Bo Pedersen, the Park City, Utah product, the bouncer, save and a cover by Collins. That's a new career high with his 16th stop of the night.
I'm telling you, the kid sees a lot of rubber. I said it earlier, his first career start against Loyola, 18 goals against, but 22 saves. Carwick trusted his young freshman goalie in that game to close it out. And again, he's been getting good experience. He's been building thick skin and buying in to the exposure therapy culture that Coach Carwick has instilled with this Raiders program.
We asked Coach Carwick, who's your backup, and he said, I'm not sure. There's 3 other goalies on the roster, but Collins has really separated himself in practice. Will Kuzniak draws the slide. Here's Atkinson. Second midfield line out there for the Tigers. And Sowers all alone at the top of the box. Here he is. Has 10 points. Looking for 11. That would tie his own record. He's done it twice. Short stick. Now he does have the pole on him. Here's Sowers. Out in front. Flag is in, and there's point number 11 on the feed to Jamie Atkinson with a finish on the top side.
8th assist of the game, and man, was that a beauty. As I was saying earlier, Cody, it seemed like Sowers was getting his points, making it look easy, but not here. He has an alley dodge, he steps out, is able to get that pass through in traffic, and a really nice finish there by Jamie Atkinson.
8 assists is a new career high for Michael Sowers. 3rd goal of the year for Atkinson, 2nd of the day, and the Tigers running away with this one. It was an 8-6 game at one point, and the Tigers have made it 15-7.
Princeton has done a good job of chipping away, keeping composure, capitalizing on Colgate's mistakes. Again, it seems as though that the Princeton staff was able to key on, hey, Colgate is not good in defensive transition. Let's ride hard, let's pick up loose balls, and let's put Colgate's game back in their face. Coach Carwick said that he wanted to play fast, that he wanted to get the ball to Griffin Brown early and often and get out and play turnovers and play defense and create a lot of turnovers. But that's ultimately what Princeton has done in this second half.
11 points in a game at Princeton. David Hubeck did it in 1978, 2 years after David Tickner did it against FDU Madison in 1976. Michael Sowers did it last April against Siena. He did it this past weekend against Monmouth. And 11 more points tonight for number 22 for the Tigers.
Cody, as an alum of Drew University, I'm going to have to ask you never bring up FDU Madison again.
Didn't know that struck a chord. (15-7), the Tigers on top. Sowers still out there. He has 11 points. Nobody in Princeton history has ever had 12.
It's crazy to think that in one of the early games that comes after this one, we might have to create a lower third for Sowers that says first single-digit point game of the year.
Has had at least 2 points in every game in his college career. This is game number 44. 44 career games, averaging better than 6 points per game.
Nicky Petkovic is now lining up on Sowers. I know that Coach Carwick said that they were going to throw a lot of different looks, but now they're putting an attackman on Sowers? I don't know about this one.
4-year starter on attack is Petkovic.
They're going to give him a lot of room here. Look how high the Princeton defense is in an umbrella set.
This is not going well for Colgate. Out in front, Stevens buries it, and there's the record for Michael Sowers. Point number 12. Ninth assist of the day.
9 assists for number 22. Really good job by Princeton to really recognize the situation. Sowers had an attackman behind in Nicky Petkovic. He shook, he juked, he shook, and then he was able to find in front Will Kusneric for a nice finish. 12 points in this game, breaking a record. He had tied it for, I don't even know how many times he tied that his own record for 11 points in the game alongside those other Tigers, but here he is able to break through in game number 2 of 2020.
9 assists for Michael Sowers. That's also a new career high for him. Wearing out the record book tonight.
There are going to be midfielders in the Ivy League that finished the season with 22 points who are going to be considered successful.
This is the third quarter of game 2 of the season. Face-off win by the Raiders. They won't get a shot off. Michael Sowers, as he has been since he stepped foot on campus, the story again tonight. He has 3 goals, he has 9 assists, he has 12 points, he has a new Princeton record. Here's the record-setting helper to Jake Stevens. 3 quarters in the books at 16-7 Tigers.
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Suburban Transit Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Explore, enjoy, experience Mercer County. Picture yourself here.
Schedule gets a lot tougher from here from the Tigers as you look at it. 4 of their next 5 games against ranked opponents. Starting this coming Saturday down in Charlottesville against the defending national champions, the Cavaliers, who Princeton lost to in overtime last year. That game televised on ACC Network, and then after that, Hopkins, Rutgers comes in, and then you get into Ivy League play with the 2 teams picked to finish 1 and 2, Penn and Yale, both ranked in the top 10 right now. So the Tigers, you have Monmouth, you have Colgate, you get your legs under you. Tigers playing better in the second half here today, and then you have that 5-game gauntlet that could really determine your season.
No question about it. Then you think back to last year in the overtime loss to Virginia. Virginia won the national championship last year, so if you're 1 goal away from beating the national champions, you could be a tournament team.
Tigers last year, 7 losses, 6 of them against teams that were ranked at some point during the season. Lost to Virginia, Hopkins, Cornell, and Rutgers, 4 ranked teams by 5 goals total.
Well, you know that Hopkins game is a big rivalry game, and it's definitely beneficial for Princeton to have that on the home turf here at Sherrod Field. But yeah, as you said it, they got a little bit of a warm-up against Monmouth, a local startup team, and Colgate is a little bit at the bottom of the Patriot League right now, and then you turn it on a bit. But you have to think that Princeton smells a little bit of blood in the water with Rutgers, considering the performance that Army had against them.
Should we update the Sowers record watch, or should we just wait until he gets the ball again? Here's Slusher as they work it up top. 30 to shoot. This one rolling towards the midfield line and kept in by the sliding Connor McCarthy. 9 assists for Michael Sowers. Not only a career high, but that ties the Princeton record. Ralph Willis back in 1953 and Kevin Lowe in 1991 against Yale. 12 points for Sowers, a Princeton record, one shy of the Ivy League record, which is 13. A handful of Ivy Leaguers have put up 13 in a game. Here's a pass out in front for Robertson. Never quite got to the cage, and yes, it did. They do reset it. There's a ball kicked in the corner. Right to a defender, and Colgate will start the push the other way.
Scrappy play by Colgate. They have enough room here to have a successful clear, so they really need to execute it. That was a good job by the defensemen to kick it out of the corner, get it to space. And as you said, Philip Robertson so close to helping Sowers get that record. Correction, before it was Jake Stevens who had the last goal, not Kusneric, when Sowers was able to get that Princeton record with his 12th point and his 9th assist. And with 13 minutes left in this game, you have to think that he's hungry to add to his point total.
There's a shot, it's wide, it's backed up by the Raiders.
And now Parker Badley is just playing offense with a pole. He was the one who had the backup in the corner there, which is nice because with the extra stick, it makes it that much easier to get the ball back off the possession. But that was uncontested, and now they'll take him off the field and give him a rest. I think that Parker Badley has had like 3 minutes of rest time this entire game. He gets like the Iron Man award in this one.
Here's Decker being lashed out with 25 on the shot clock. Shot is wide out of the stick of Brown. Talked a lot about Sowers. The Tigers had an 8-7 lead at the start of the third quarter. They've scored 8 straight goals. It's been about 17 and a half minutes since Colgate found the back of the net. It's a goal by Parker Badley at the 14:43 mark in the third quarter.
I believe that was the first goal of the second half, and it was a momentum goal, too.
Made it
with
a
the
one-goal
long
game.
stick. Made it a one-goal game. You have a long stick scoring in transition where they had some trouble, but then Princeton responded really nicely since.
Here's Pedersen to Sowers on the doorstep. Brown, and there's the record. 9 straight goals for the Tigers. Flag comes in late. Sowers with his 13th point of the day. That's a new Princeton record that ties the Ivy League record.
10 assists as well. Maybe this is the time with a 10-goal lead, 12 minutes left, where you give number 22 a rest. A great textbook fast break play here. Again, the no-look pass. Almost. Didn't exactly give Robertson the full eye contact down low, but again, he goes horizontal and across to Chris Brown, who had a very, very composed finish. Again, he gets the push there for the and one. And what a night it's been. What a great start to the season it's been for number 22.
13 points in Ivy League history, and that goes back to the late 1950s. John Walters at Dartmouth, Darren Lowe, Oliver Marty, Dylan Malloy, all 3 for Brown, and now Michael Sowers, 13 points in a game. 4 goals, 9 assists for number 22 on the heels of that 11-point outing on Saturday. This is the only Division I game going on tonight, so you would have to think a lot of eyeballs nationally on Michael Sowers and the Tigers. Stepping up into the spotlight.
I'm sure that defensive coordinators all across the country are very much tuned into this game, and they're having fits right now trying to prepare for this Princeton team. Again, best 22 in the country, arguably the best attackman in the country. You mentioned who the 3 first-team All-Americans might be earlier with Chris Gray and the talent that they have there at Penn State. But, man, what a show he's put on tonight. An even better performance than he had against Monmouth.
Michael Sowers out of Upper Dublin High School wanted to stay close to home. When he graduated from Upper Dublin, 402 career assists in his high school career. That was the all-time U.S. record for assists in a high school career. Here's a shot, whistles high. Colgate just trying to get back on the scoreboard, trying to get a little bit of momentum. It was a 1-goal contest, and now the Tigers have stretched it out to double digits.
Yeah, Colgate's in a slump right now. They haven't possessed a lot. Princeton's been doing a good job of sliding and collapsing to the crease, which has taken away a lot of good looks for Colgate.
Just hit the pipe. That pretty much sums up the second half for the Raiders after they played so well in the first half. Shot clock resets. Here's a shot. It's wide by Cadigan.
That was a good look by Cooper Bellinger to go across to Cadigan. Cadigan was aching for it. Just missed.
Some good looks on this possession. 9 straight goals for the Tigers. Feet out in front. They missed their target. Andrew Song has a beat on it, but he shovels it out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Raiders. 11 minutes to go. The Tigers still have the starters on attack camped out on the opposite end of the field, so you figure Sowers would have some more time to extend it. Against Monmouth on Saturday, they pulled the starters on attack with about 5 minutes to go. There's a bouncer, kicked aside by Peters, just his 9th save of the night.
Well, one more goal gives them 11 goals of separation as they had against Monmouth. But, yeah, I mean, I would keep the starting attack in until 5 minutes left. You have to build some consistency. This is a big year for the Tigers. Again, you're trying to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 8 years. You need your offense to glue.
Ball knocked into the defensive end for Colgate. They resettle it in on attack with 25 on the shot clock. Nearly 20 minutes since the last Colgate goal. That was when it was a 9-8 game. Stick knocked out of the hand of Petkovic. Ball is loose. Peters springs out. Raiders stepped in the crease.
Another great crease slide by George Baughan. Baughan and Lazaretto have been all over the field, number 17 and number 7 for Princeton. They're quick to get off their guys and slide hard to the next offensive shooting threat.
Sowers has 13. That ties the Ivy League record. That's already the Princeton record. Just 3 goals, but 10 assists.
Is Nicky Petkovic guarding Sowers again?
He sure is. Not sure I've ever seen an attackman called into duty on defense.
Tried everything else.
Brown diving under his man, passes it back. Robertson out the near side. Sowers, still plenty of time to shoot. Sowers picked up by a more traditional pole. Out in front, shot, goal, point number 14 on the goal by Robertson. Michael Sowers all alone. 14 points, that's an Ivy League record.
Colgate made the switch off of Petkovic and put Luke Hunziker on number 22. It really doesn't matter. He hangs him up behind the net. I saw the net shake as he was dodging, and then right on cue, Philip Robertson on the doorstep, as he does best. Boom, bang, into the mesh.
Got any more sound effects?
We'll see. Still 9 minutes left.
So we've talked a lot about Sowers. Jake Stevens has a hat trick. Chris Brown has a hat trick. And now Philip Robertson has a hat trick.
And now Coach Madelon will pull Sowers, coming over to the sideline, getting congratulated by his teammates. Record-setting night. That wasn't an easy pass to convert. Philip Robertson had 2 guys on him, so that was a really good handle and a really good finish in tight. And Sowers has just been so smooth, particularly from behind the net as usual, and he's also been excellent from the point as well tonight.
Shot kicked aside wide by Peters. That goal by Robertson on the assist by Sowers, the 10th straight goal for the Tigers. Remember, it was an 8-7 game after that Colgate goal to open up the second half. Diving behind his man, a bouncer, and the Raiders back on the scoreboard. Mike Hawkins, the junior from Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Nice face dodge here for Mike Hawkins to get Colgate a much-needed goal. Really good job to see that the Princeton defender, Armin McGlochy, was sliding in out of control. He does a really good job of, again, dodging inside, protecting his stick, and then a nice inside bounce finish on Eric Peters.
First Colgate goal in nearly 21 minutes. Snaps that 10-0 run by the Tigers. And a face-off win by the Raiders. 8:42 left to go in this fourth quarter. Still a lot of lacrosse to play. Here's a bouncer. Shot was deflected and checked away from behind. That was out of the stick of the pole, Thor Adamick.
Nice trail check by Andrew Song there on the pole to extend and make a dive. That shot really didn't come into the goal area very cleanly.
Tigers getting some fresh faces out there. We see Cahal Roberts
Song's going to get called for a
Joined
trip
the fray
on
for the first time. He was a starter late last year, did not play Saturday due to an injury, but they're getting him some reps. Strike the pipe again with a flag down. Shot clock resets and a fresh possession for the Raiders.
That was Mike Hawkins again on the inside face dodge.
Roberts steps in front of that one, and now we'll see what the whistle is against the Tigers.
I think Andrew Song is going to get called for a trip here on Brian Manicus.
5th penalty against Princeton tonight. Colgate 1 for 3 so far with the extra man, and they have some work to do, trailing by 10 with 8 minutes to go.
Let's take a look how Princeton operates in this defensive set. Again, Armin Beglach, he was a little bit exposed on that last Colgate goal. Nick Bauer now steps in on the man down for Princeton.
Bauer out there every time the Tigers have gone man down. He's one of the senior captains.
Now we see
here's a skip pass. They bounce it home, and a goal on the man up. That's Cooper Bellinger, the senior from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Product of Detroit Country Day School. Back-to-back tallies by the Raiders. And a little bit of momentum here midway through the second half. We'll step away here from Sherrod Field. A big day for Michael Sowers. 14 points. That's a new Ivy League record. Has the hat trick to go along with 11 assists. Here is point number 14 on the feed out in front to Philip Robertson.
You know those times when you have a cold or flu and you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away from any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are. And no matter who you are, we'll have you feeling like you again.
The doctor's online when you download the Telemed app. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
This experience, it lives on our fields and in our classrooms, where every day is a test. Each moment builds on this experience and creates an environment that develops mind, body, and soul. We become part of the storied traditions of the Ivy League. This experience, it is unrivaled.
Back-to-back goals by the Raiders. So they've made it an 18-9 contest. Take a look at the upcoming schedule for this young Colgate squad under second-year head coach Matt Carwick. Rivalry game this coming Saturday at Hobart, and then they finally play a home game, one of just 4 home games on this 14-game slate. Coach Carwick said he wanted to build the toughest schedule he possibly could, and certainly seems like he's accomplished that.
he's trying to build a young, scrappy road warrior mentality up there in Hamilton, New York. I believe that Coach Carwick's wife, Andrea, is a clinical psychologist. I don't think necessarily the same sort of psychology that we're talking about here, but perhaps husband is taking out a few pages from the wife's book and doing a lot of things to really give his players tough skin.
Colgate, one of the younger teams in the Patriot League, one of the youngest teams in the country. 10 of their 14 games on the road, 6 of their 14 games against teams that were ranked to open the season.
Colgate has 10 road games this year, and again, starting off with 4 in a row. This is their third, then they go on to play Hobart. At least they're a little bit closer to home there, similar to Syracuse. But they're not going to see a lot of turf in Hamilton this year.
Bouncer McCarthy can't corral it, and it's scooped up and run back over the midfield line. Vardaro, tough on the ride. Here's the trailer in transition. I think the shot was intercepted, and they score. Not sure if that was a shot or a pass, but it worked on the doorstep. Looks like James Cadigan on the finish with some flags down.
Nice goal for Colgate to get into double digits. It starts with Parker Badley pushing things in transition. Yeah, really nice diving catch there by James Cadigan, getting the feed from Ryan Decker. Takes the Princeton lead down to 8.
Three straight goals by the Raiders after they went nearly 21 minutes as the Tigers went on that 10-0 run.
1 minute, we face off.
Call is a slash against the Tigers, so Colgate goes man up. Guilty party for Princeton is Cahal Roberts, the sophomore from Dublin. Worked his way into the starting lineup over the final 5 games last year. Of course, his older brother Aaron was a fifth-year senior last year. 43 games for the Tigers over the last 5 seasons, and now Cahal will take a knee for a minute. Penalty number 6 against the Tigers tonight.
Yeah, Colgate certainly had their man-up opportunities, but really great to see Roberts, a European player, getting exposure here at the NCAA Division I level. Stony Brook, for a period of time, did a good job of recruiting players from England, and Roberts and his older brother have certainly had an Irish impact here in Princeton.
Roberts moving from Ireland to Northern California when he was 8. His brother, Aaron, and Cahal, last year was the first time they ever played lacrosse together because of that 5-year age gap, and Aaron Roberts missed parts of a couple of seasons due to injury. So he was able to petition for and get that 5th year back. Shot, bouncer, and another goal. 4 straight, and that's our player to watch pregame. Actually, was that Cooper Bellinger, number 10?
Yeah, I think that was Cooper Bellinger with the pass from James Cadigan. That's the look that Colgate's been getting. It's been that horizontal look on the top. There's, that was Brian Manikis who had the look across to Bellinger. That has been the look for Colgate. They've been finding seams at the top of the box, horizontal skip pass, and they've been tapping it off with high to low bound shots that have been getting past Peters.
Look at the Patriot League this year. Of course, Army falling today after they cracked the top 10. You have Loyola, you have Lehigh ranked, Navy under Joe Amplo, Bucknell receiving votes. It's going to be a tough Patriot League. You get the feeling by the time they get to Patriot League play, Colgate's going to be in some of those games.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how the identity of the Patriot League is going to shape out. Obviously, Loyola is trying to find their identity after graduating Pat Spencer. Army got off to a really hot start as well. I mean, it's a really, really talented conference.
Colgate turns it over. Chris Brown scoops up the ground ball, and the Tigers will slow it down. Colgate did a better job clearing, a better job of ball security in the first half. That was their 19th turnover of the contest.
Yeah, I think Princeton was just very tactical in the way that they were forcing turnovers. Again, they were very, very strong on the ride, cutting off the Raiders on the clear, and then in getting quick momentum goals in transition and in bunches to separate themselves.
McCarthy and Vardaro, top midfield line still out there as we creep up on the 5-minute mark. Brown scooping it off the turf to Slusher, who takes over for Sowers in that third attack spot. Atkinson joining the fray on that midfield line. Here's a shot. Save made. Long rebound. Save number 18 for Collins.
Collins once again seeing it from the outside on the bounce, attacking the ball as it comes off of the turf. He gets a piece of it with his shoulder, recomposes himself. Princeton repossesses, but Collins looks strong in there.
Collins saw 42 shots against North Carolina, 65 last time out against Syracuse. That was the Tigers' 52nd shot. Princeton scored 10 in a row. Colgate's had the last 4. Tigers trying to get back on the board. Shot clock about to expire. Tigers turn it over.
Nice check by Aiden Toomey there to poke that out of Princeton's stick. And then once again, seeing so much versatility out of Parker Badley. He's been pushing transition with the long stick, the short stick, scoring with the long stick.
Here's Decker, fires high over the crossbar. It's backed up by Cadigan. Cadigan's been a bright spot, 3 goals, has the hat trick on 7 shots.
It's not only the fact that he scored 3 goals, it's the way that he scored at least 2 of them, tiptoeing the crease, having strong hands, putting it where the goalie's not. Those aren't easy points to get. And there's Nicky Petkovic. He came out of the box as a midi.
Peters gets a piece of that, and we get a whistle. Colgate was in the crease, so that'll give the Tigers possession back.
Griffin Brown stepped in the crease as he was dodging inside. No question about it, they're using Petkovic as a midi. Why he's ending up on defense against Sowers, as we saw a little bit earlier, I'm not sure. But they've definitely made a change at attack. Brian Manikis is the starter down there at the left, and then, as I said, Nicky Petkovic is coming out of the box.
Carter Zavitz taking some contact. The Tigers turn it over as Zavitz heads back to the sideline. Cadigan's second career hat trick. He did have a career best 4 goals last year in a loss against Bucknell. Final 3 minutes and 20 seconds here under the lights in Princeton. Big one for the Tigers coming up Saturday, trying to get some revenge against a Virginia team that beat them in overtime. And that game is on ACC Network, so a chance for anyone who hasn't had a chance to see Michael Sowers to take a look at him Saturday on a national stage.
Well, now Griffin Brown is being run into the box as a midi. Nicky Petkovic is staying on attack.
In transition, there's a bouncer and a goal by the freshman Sam English. Top 10 recruit, the first of his career for the Culver product out of Burlington, Ontario.
High bouncer here, really nice shot by English to pierce the corner. It all starts in the turnover on the other end as Griffin Brown was feeding Nicky Petkovic. He was unable to get the handle. Princeton picks it up, and then English gets the first goal of his career on a really nice bounce shot into the top shelf.
Inside Lacrosse has him rated as the number 10 recruit in this year's class. You know who else was a number 10 recruit coming in?
Who was that?
Michael Sowers.
Absolutely. More production out of Canada and the Culver Academy. Jake Stevens. Now we're seeing English 14 and 15 on the roster.
We've got Stevens, English, and Luke Anderson, 3 underclassmen midfielders. So the Tigers back on the scoreboard, 1 goal shy of their total from Saturday against Monmouth.
All right, if you're Princeton now, you just want to leave this with at least a 7-goal lead. You want everyone being healthy. You could have had a tally there while you have some reserves. Man, Philip Robertson was wide open for that one. Regardless, you just want to get out of here with a healthy lead, healthy bodies, survive and advance to Johns Hopkins.
Starters out of the game for the Tigers. Roberts steps in front of it. Second time he's blocked a shot today. And the big sophomore from Dublin, Ireland, looking to run. Cahal Roberts, of course, came to the U.S. when he was 8, so he's been playing lacrosse for a while. His older brother, Aaron, didn't start playing lacrosse until he came to the U.S. He started playing hurling in Ireland. That's about as physical of a game as you can get, so it makes sense he ended up on the defensive side of the field.
Definitely has some correlations to both field hockey and lacrosse, from what I understand.
Essentially just beat each other with a stick.
Try to put the ball in the back of the net.
1:35 to go. Princeton with an 8-goal lead. Brown still out there on the attack, giving him some looks at X.
You got to figure that's a possession play. Just put a big body at X. You know that Colgate's going to extend. You want to possess. You want to have a 7-goal lead. So Brown is a confident guy that you could keep in there right now. Probably the least likely to get injured with his frame of body.
Chris Brown, 6'2", 200, extended his goal-scoring streak to 29 in a row. Shot and a goal, first of the career of Tommy Barnes.
Straight gas, straight gas. You have to figure that Sean Collins is frustrated now. He's done such a nice job of saving shots, especially from the outside, just completely uncontested. You see Tommy Barnes just step into that one. Didn't change levels very much, just sidearm, no bounce, and he sneaks it past Collins.
His father, Tom, was an All-American and a team captain here at Princeton. Barnes, a freshman from Woodside, California, product of Sacred Heart Prep. Special moment for the Barnes family. Tommy Barnes' first career goal.
And English got his first career right before that. So it's really great at the end of a game early in the season, if you're a head coach in the final minutes, to see 2 of your really important guys get the first goals of their career. Now they have a lot of confidence to carry for the rest of the season.
Face-off win for the highly touted freshman from Garden City, Tyler Sandoval. At a powerhouse Chaminade. Final minute here in this contest. The Tigers with 20 on the scoreboard for the second time in as many games.
Colgate's going to spread out and extend pressure. Princeton's going to spread out and just move it around as swiftly as they can.
Chris Brown working in the midfield, possessing for the Tigers with 20 seconds to play.
They have a full clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Final 10 seconds ticking off the clock here at Sherrod Field. Stevens has it knocked away. Number 14 gets it back. And for the second time in as many games to open up 2020, the Tigers put up 20. And in the first meeting with Colgate since the late 1920s, it's a 20-11 victory for the Princeton Tigers with the rain falling here at Sherrod Field. A lot of storylines tonight. Michael Sowers, though, stealing the show. 3 goals, a career-high 11 assists, 14 points. Not only a new Princeton record, but a new Ivy League record.
Again, the most impressive thing about Sowers is that he gets it done with only playing in the regular season. So many of these guys atop the Princeton record book have gone deep into the postseason, won NCAA championships. Sowers has yet to see an NCAA tournament. Hopefully he gets it done this year as a senior.
280 career points for Michael Sowers, just 2 games deep into his senior season. Princeton wins this one by a final score of 20-11. So for Dave Franklin, I'm Cody Crushell saying so long from 1952 Stadium in Princeton, where the final score is the Tigers 20 and the Colgate Raiders 11. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. One of a host of assists by Michael Sowers. He had 11 of them to go along with 3 goals, 14 points. Number 22 is your new Ivy League record holder with 14 points in a single game.